FaZe Banks is finally speaking out, and this time it could not be more explosive. FaZe Banks went live to address the collapse of FaZe, but while everyone was watching, the former members dropped core and moved into a $20 million house. Now Banks is talking FaZe again, core is taking over, and Market Bubble is sitting right in the middle of the drama. With Banks pushing Market Bubble, fans are asking one huge question. Is this a comeback or another disaster? This is Internet Chaos Report. Remember to like and subscribe because we are posting videos like this every single day. Now let's get into it.
For the first time in months, FaZe Banks has made an official response to the situation regarding the end of FaZe, by going live on Twitch and calling out anyone who disrespected him and the team in the past.
Dude, I haven't heard of FaZe Banks in forever. He's become kind of irrelevant for a while. I wonder what he's had to say about the collapse of FaZe.
These people were surprisingly previous members of the team, and they would go on to announce their new group called Core on the very same day, throwing shade.
I didn't even know that Core was a thing.
At FaZe and essentially leaving it in the dust. And it's clear that Banks was pretty frustrated on the way that they decided to handle this situation, as they seemingly waited for the exact time for Banks to respond to this situation to make the announcement on their brand new team. Now this would all start after Banks would post a trailer announcing a stream where he was planning on addressing everything, which would all happen on the very next day, averaging tens of thousands of viewers.
The truth about FaZe, the tweet, the truth about FaZe, and people ran with it.
He got skinny. What the fuck? Is he on drugs or is he just like healthy? I can't tell.
New FaZe members, this, that. What's he gonna say?
I actually think he looks like he's healthy, to be honest. So that's good.
FaZe files, like, yeah. I'm gonna just say it right here, right now. There's gonna be none of that. We're not sharing conversations. We have absolutely. There's no bad blood. This next 15-20 minutes for me is really gonna be.
I like his studio. His studio looks cool.
A turning of the page.
I like the old school fucking computer in the background. Honestly, without the computer and if it was lit a little bit different and stuff, it would kind of look like Nick's background, like Nick's setup. He even has the coffee mug, dude. What? Did he steal Nick's setup?
I just wanted to talk to you guys from the chest, from my heart. I don't have any notes. This isn't scripted. I'm speaking from the chest, and I felt like that was very, very important for me to do because I just want you guys to see me and hear me. And yeah, the truth about FaZe, the truth is, I think that everybody lost. I think that I lost. I think that the boys lost. I think that FaZe, of course, lost. And I think the biggest loser in all of this is you guys, to be honest. The audience, the viewer.
Now, I completely understand why he's saying this here. It's just some PR bullshit to try and, be empathetic with the viewers and whatnot. But him going on about saying that there's no bad blood between him and the members is honestly just pretty hard to believe. I mean, even if we go back to a few months ago when Banks made his initial response to this situation, he was talking all of this shit about the FaZe members, saying about how they're all extremely ungrateful, how they all used to disrespect each other behind each other's backs, how they didn't want to live in the same house as each other or anything like that. But now he's essentially taking back his word on all of that and saying that there's absolutely no bad blood between him and any of the other members at all, which obviously us looking at it from an outside perspective makes it seem like there's only one or two possibilities for this situation. Either he's lying right now and there is bad blood, or he was lying in the past. Regardless, this entire situation just didn't look good for Banks at all. And in this response, he would decide to try and clear his name of everything.
We built something incredible that so many people enjoyed. And that's why, I'm clearly super emotional about this. So are they, so are you guys. And again, I appreciate that. I don't think any one party is better off without the other. I still to this day wish that we could have figured it out. Genuinely, I think that we were all much better off together. I think that we operated as a fucking all-star team. And it's just a shame that we couldn't get aligned. And that's honestly like where things went wrong. We just couldn't get aligned. There were two halves to this brand and this company. One was very much in front of the camera. That's the part that you know. And then we have a whole other side in the back. That's where over the last few months, like I have to just fully take accountability and just accept the fact that that's where I went wrong in this. That's where I fucked up.
One thing about FaZe and any other content group just like this is that turning it into an entire business where, you know, you have people like these streamers who are creating all the content and everything like that, and then you also have people behind the scenes who are doing all the business stuff and trying to make a profit off of it, it just doesn't really work out at all, because most of the time the people behind the scenes don't know anything about the content they're producing. They're just simply trying to find as many ways to profit off of these streamers as they can. So therefore, whenever you're spending $100,000 a month on rent, you're funding all of these different content things that they want to do, which can cost literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And then the streamers go on to take 100% of all the revenue they make from that content. It's extremely hard to find a way to turn that into an actual profitable business. So I will say it's good that Banks decided to apologize for all of this stuff, but it is still a bit weird how Banks was shitting on all of these people months ago, and now he's finally deciding to try and save his PR by being the good guy.
My entire career, I've ignored contracts and deals. I've signed bad deals. I've been f***ed over. I haven't paid attention to this boring stuff because that's not me. That's not for me. But I assume this role as CEO. I sold the boys a dream on fucking FaZe being the biggest thing ever. And we succeeded. We succeeded on the vision. Everybody's much better off because of it. But then you guys gotta understand my...
That's definitely true. I would say everyone who joined FaZe is probably way better off because they joined FaZe than if they didn't join FaZe. So I do agree with that.
POV and like my partner's POV, because I sold business people on this as well. We needed to fund it. This whole thing cost millions and millions of dollars. And I told them, I have this vision, I have this plan, and it will work. I think one of FaZe's biggest problems, to tell you the truth, and I've thought obviously a lot about all this, I think that FaZe experienced success way too quickly and way too rapidly. Like these kids overnight and FaZe overnight were the biggest streamers on planet Earth. What did that create? What kind of environment did that create? They just wanted to create content. They just wanted to stream. I remember these conversations so vividly, and we had them so often where that's where the misalignment was. It was like, hey guys, can we sit down? Can we talk about business? I'm a guy who like, I wish that I focused more on like building content IP or dropping a product with Rice Scum and Alyssa and Summer Rae. I'd be way better off. Like we missed the mark on that because all we cared about was the day-to-day YouTube vlogs, and we were content brain and we were young. And I tried to extend that experience to these guys and have these conversations about building business, but they're kids and they want to fucking stream. And that's not a problem. That's not an issue. That's what you guys want. That's what they want, but it's not necessarily what the company needed or what we wanted, right? So that's where shit starts to get messy. And then again, from our POV, and I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I'm happy. I consider this last era of FaZe one of the best moments in spans of my entire life. And I will always appreciate these kids, and I will always appreciate you guys for that stretch of time in that moment. It was a very important moment in my life. I promised these partners a successful business as well. So you see on your timeline about how great FaZe is, and you see all these clips go viral, and you see these guys making a ton of money and doing very well, and that's great. But then you look at, you know, the FaZe accounts, and they're bleeding, they're hemorrhaging, like we're dying. And it's like, well, we need to figure out the business. We need to figure out the business. And a month goes by, and then 6 months goes by, and then a year goes by, and before you know it, you're fucking millions of dollars in the hole. But everyone's telling you how great it all is, but it's not sustainable and it can't work. And that's 100% my fault, period. That was my job to figure that out. And I cared more about Twitter and more about the content and more about the brand stuff. And we crushed that part, but it was all for nothing. And again, the irony is that it put FaZe, when it was all said and done, in a much worse spot, which is crazy.
I remember whenever this entire FaZe revival was going on, and Banks was constantly talking about how this is the greatest state FaZe has ever been, that no one believed in it as much as him, and that all of these streamers are essentially gonna take the torch that was passed down to them and make FaZe something even bigger than it once was. So knowing that, it is pretty interesting to see how much FaZe has changed, and how this team that was quite literally on top of the world literally lost every single one of its members within a single day, and it was obviously all just due to the business side, the side that Banks himself pretty much ran exclusively. Yes, there were a ton of people also behind him in this situation, but they really weren't making any of the major calls. They were just throwing him money, with him telling him that this was somehow magically gonna make a profit.
So yeah, that goes without saying. I listen, I wish these guys nothing but the best, genuinely. All of them, every last one of them. I know shit got weird toward the end and emotional, and yeah, that's another huge thing that I just want to like speak on. Is it's hard for me to apologize for being passionate and emotional, because I feel like that's like part of the magic and that's part of the success. Like I don't think that any of this fake could have happened without that piece. You know what I mean? So it's like, I see tweets like, you ruined FaZe, and I'll take that. Sure, we can call it that, and I can take that.
I mean, he also did basically build FaZe too. Like, does anyone really know that many other FaZe members as well as FaZe Banks? Like, he is basically the face of FaZe, you know? I think he has been for a really long time.
But I feel like if that's true, then it must be true that I'm the reason why FaZe has continued and why we all came together in the last 2 years as well. So it's like just one of those things where I just wish people could be happy that it happened rather than being sad that it's over, if that makes sense.
And this is also obviously a good point to bring up. Yes, Banks is a big part of the reason why FaZe ultimately failed once again. However, he was also the reason for its revival in the first place. As far as the public knows, he, along with the other owners, were the ones who recruited people like Lacey, Jason, Blackboy Max, Silky, and every new member in that entire streaming crew. So even though, yes, it is valid to shit on him for essentially ruining FaZe once again, you also have to give him credit where credit's due. If it weren't for Banks, FaZe would have never been revived in the first place. All of the subathons, all of the houses and everything like that literally attracted millions upon millions of people would have never happened if it weren't for Banks' influence. So while I personally don't agree with a lot of things Banks does, and I may not even like him as a person necessarily, I can also recognize that if it weren't for him, literally none of this would have actually happened.
I know I was really bummed out the way everything ended, and I fucking made some whack ass tweet about this shit's over, I'm done, poor me, boo-hoo, and I really regret that. But another thing I regret is obviously the misalignment, the emotional shit, but I wish that I was just more myself with you guys. I played this role, I played this character, and I know you guys remember when we first started doing this, when the sentiment was positive, I would enter a fucking frame of a chat and watch the chat spam W Aura. And I didn't give a fuck then the same way I don't give a fuck now when they spam L Banks, because you know me the same. I don't know. I hope people consider and see that obviously when you guys are spamming W Aura and fucking FaZe is at its peak subathon, I could have fucking started a live stream. You know, I could have became a streamer then and probably, you know, ran with a successful streaming career. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? And I'm doing it now at a rock bottom. And I like that. As far as FaZe is concerned, like,
did he start streaming like completely, or was this just one stream, or is he gonna stream like from now out? It sounds like he's gonna start streaming now.
I have ideas. I have a.
I don't know. That might be good. I feel like FaZe Banks is kind of entertaining. So
vision. I have a plan. The sad and boring truth is, I did step down as CEO when all that happened. Months before Christmas and months before this ended. I'm confident in the future. I'm confident in myself, and I just want to be the first one to say it. And I would just want to go on record that I'm gonna do it again and again and again, as many times as I need to. And I fully believe in it, and it's gonna work, and it's gonna be successful, even in the face of a million people telling me that it's not and that it's over.
Now, Banks saying this really started to make a lot of people question, wow, is he actually going to try and revive FaZe once again? And if we're being honest, I think we all...
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I don't know. I think he should just stick to streaming by himself for right now, you know? Maybe him managing a bunch of people isn't the best idea. I think him streaming for himself right now might be good for him. And then maybe move on here in like a year or two to doing FaZe again, you know?
Already know the answer to that question. He most likely will in some way, shape, or form. However, the way he presented it in this live stream made it seem like it was a completely, well, different way of bringing a lot of young people up. Instead of being a live stream of him announcing a new FaZe roster, as most people thought that this was going to be, Banks would instead announce a weekly show that he's now going to be doing on Twitch called Market Bubble. He debuted Market Bubble.
Oh, he's starting a thing called Market Bubble. Is it gonna be about like fucking trading stocks and shit? Oh, Polymarket. Yeah.
Bubble episode 1, co-hosted by Ansem, and shared trades like buying Solana at $1.50 and selling it near $260. Then showed mixes markets, AI, pop culture, and esports bets backed by Polymarket and others. Fans cheered the fresh pivot in Discord community, while skeptics.
Well, he's always been into like investing and stuff. I remember he was really into the NFT stuff. I thought that stuff was like seemed fake, but I know he was really into it. So I don't know. This might be good for him, talking about trading stocks and trading a bunch of other assets and stuff. That's kind of cool.
Six called it a scam amid low chat engagement. I feel like with this show that Banks ultimately decided to launch, more people saw it as a way for him to use his influence to try and use it as a way to make more money off things like crypto and stocks.
He could be using it to do pump and dumps, to be honest. Like, in a way, you know, you promote something that you bought and then you just fucking sell. I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't do that. I think I have enough trust in him that he's not going to be that scummy of a person.
Telling his audience to...
But you never know. He could have been doing that with the NFT shit. I never really paid attention to that much when he was doing it.
Invest in certain things, which will ultimately mainly benefit him over anyone else. And keep in mind, this is all alleged and simply things that I just saw a lot of people talking about on Twitter. However, at the exact same time that Banks was announcing this show, the ex-FaZe members would announce their brand new group called Core, posting a video on their YouTube channel.
Oh, damn, even with Adapt. So it's all of them? It's like a bunch of them, and they just left without FaZe Banks? Damn.
Of their brand new $20 million house tour. And this would obviously spark Banks into making an entire response to this situation. Literally in the middle of the announcement stream for Market Bubble.
This is crazy. So the boys just launched a group, and they have 34,000 followers, and they launched it with this, they're rebranding themselves as the Core Boys, and they just moved into a new house. This is happening live in real time. This is breaking news, everybody. And it stands for Create, Own, Run Everything, which is cute, and it's in line with like the fucking the FaZe shit, whatever. It's ironic though, because this picture, and like, you guys got to keep it a bean. This picture is a recreated FaZe picture. Maybe somebody responded with it. No. This is the picture that we had as like our YouTube Avi for a while, and I constructed this picture on set. Like, I told them all like crowd in and fucking make this picture, and we took a picture, whatever. And like, I directed this picture to be like how we brand on socials, because I didn't think a FaZe logo made sense. I wanted to brand it with these guys. It's just funny because this was my direction, my vision. And it's like, and honestly, listen,
so these
I'm
were your
super
guys,
happy.
like that's guys that
Yeah. Besides Marlon.
Okay.
But he was kind of like affiliated. There's a couple missing too. Max isn't in here. And Rage. It doesn't seem like they're a part of this, but these.
Damn. So I wonder what happened with the beef, because it seems like there's something that's hidden. You know, if all of them left FaZe and then started their own crew, it seems like there must have been beef with Banks somehow. I don't know.
These guys look happy, man. To be honest with you, like, Alex is the fucking best. It looks like he's been working his fucking balls off. He looks exhausted.
He looks stressed.
Jason looks super happy. Fucking Lacey looks trim. Silky looks like Silky. Marlon's handsome. And Ron's honestly a generational talent. And, you know, it was a fucking good run. And again, I'm seeing this in real time. And I wish them nothing but the best. Genuinely. What a good fucking day all around.
I feel like it's pretty strange that all of this stuff is happening conveniently at the exact same time. Like, sure, it genuinely could all have just been a major coincidence, but I feel like it also could have almost been more likely that they all just coordinated their stuff conveniently at the exact same time by having Banks launch this brand new show at the exact same time that FaZe is moving into their new house and also launching this new team. To me, that seems way more logical. However, it could all just be a coincidence. No one except for them really know what's going on here. And also, people might use the excuse of, oh, but all the ex-FaZe members are not on good terms with Banks. But do we really know that for sure? Keep that in the back of your minds. Anyways, though, Spotify shoutout of the day goes to Scar.
All right. Well, that was interesting. I wonder what the beef between FaZe and the rest of the members was, because that's interesting that they would have done that. But anyways, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, because we are posting videos like this every single day. Peace.